Hey, Tracy Lewis from Stuff and Things. I am here at my mom's overnight and I am making this card for my mother-in-law for her birthday. It is a Power Poppy digital stamp colored with my new Copic markers that I got, and I will put online all the colors that I used. I included the sequins in the four corners, and I think I'm going to add pearls over the dots. They're like a flat sequin rather than a textured sequin. But that is not why I am here today. I have two tricks I want to share with you guys as I'm rebuilding my collection. I used to own a bunch of ribbon, and I now have these two rolls, and that is it. And the trick I want to talk about, I store the rolls in this bag with some random lace and some washi tape, and I can see I have some twine in there as well. And what was annoying me is these two rolls, they're both very vanilla Stampin' Up! Ribbons, and they kept coming unrolled. So I finally asked my mom if she had a couple of rubber bands for me to borrow, and what I have done, I learned this from Libby, was putting rubber bands over your ribbon keeps them from coming unrolled. So this is what I've got set up right now, and hopefully it will work to keep my my little doodad container under better control. The second trick I want to talk about is actually an experiment. When I had the giant foam roll of tape, it was the 3M foam, and I got it off the free table where I worked, which was at Fluke, and it was all yellowed, and I think it must have been half used up, and I never realized how big they really were. So I bought some more. I found it on Amazon for $29, and it came, the dimensions that they said were like 10 inches in diameter. And when it came, it was like, wow, that's really big. So I took a ruler to it, and it's actually 12 inches in diameter. So I peeled off a roll of about 2 inches and was going to put it here in my tote, my new tote, and I didn't like how much room it took up. So when I got to my mom's, I was taking apart my new Spellbinders dies, and I asked my mom if she had any extra, acrylic pieces from stamps, the photopolymer stamps, and she showed me, she showed me this. So it was this piece right here that she had extra of, and I actually, at first I said no, and then I said, hey, hand that to me and let me try some foam on it. And certain acrylic pieces, whether they're the soft kind, like a copy transparency thickness or this thick, certain ones are super sticky for that foam tape, but the foam tape seems to peel off of this pretty readily. But she had cut the top off here, and I had brand new ones that I had just taken dies out of, which are, I don't see any empty ones floating around here, so I will just show you what I ended up experimenting with. What I did is, the reason why I didn't like the top cut off is you can see there's these ribbons here, and there's another ribbon right here, and when I pull them out is my experiment that I'm gonna run. I cut up all of my foam. The 3 inches of foam that I had rolled is now cut up. On the one side it's the small pieces, and on the other side are long pieces. And I use the foam, I use the dimensionals for Stampin' Up! Projects, but if I'm doing any album work or bulk type paper projects, I will use these foam pieces because the cost ends up being a fraction of the cost of the dimensionals. And what I found is these do peel up pretty readily. My mom asked, don't you lose some stickiness when you transfer from the plastic to the project? And what I have found so far is that these actually peel up without losing any stickiness, as far as I can tell. And when I put them on the extra transparency thickness, which was much thinner than this. What I like about this is that I get my little pull tab, I get the two sides, and if I find that this side that's popped open ends up having any of these pieces fall off, I can always just use the inside half. And this is a smaller size. It's quite a bit smaller than the this size my mom had me looking at initially that gave me the idea to try this. So I have a small one, and then in here I also have this large one. So I'm going to try them both. I'm going to see what I think. I just don't like the bulkiness when you have the foam rolls actually rolled, and then you also lose time. I prefer pre-cutting the two sizes, the long strips for a larger project, and then these smaller strips that I can even cut in half if I need to for doing multiples or larger projects. So I'm going to keep these in my tote and see what I think about them. Let's see, I do need to put it in an appropriate spot. And I like the cute little ribbon that matches because it's cream colored. That's actually led to my tip that I already showed you. When I was cutting my my ribbon ends off, it ended up unrolling and I couldn't get it to stay rolled up when I put it back in. So I will report back on how well this particular use of the foam strips is working for me, as well as I already know that the rubber band trick is going to work because all of my ribbons, I had many more than the two, always worked for me. So I think that is it, and then I will have an article drawn up for this particular card on my blog in the next couple of days. Thanks for watching.